And welcome back to Unit 8, Lesson 3, Negative and Zero Exponents. We're going to finish up on our last page of notes here. We're just going to kind of go through some examples here and look through these. A to the negative fifth. If you recall from our board work, a to the negative fifth is going to be 1 over a times 1 over a times 1 over a. And I'm going to do that 5 times. That's 4 times. That's 5 times. If I simplify that out, I would do a times a times a times a. That's a to the first. And when we multiply our exponents, remember we add them up. So I just add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 a's. So it'll be a to the fifth. 1 over a to the fifth. That's as easy as it is. Same thing here. 2 to the negative 4. I'm going to do 1 over 2 to the fourth. And if I know what 2 to the fourth is, I can just kind of simplify that out here. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So my answer should be 1 over 16. 1 over 16. And you might have got a decimal if you put that into your calculator, which would equal 0.0625. We're still going to go here. If I wanted to write a exponent as a negative exponent, what I would do is I would look at my bottom number. I have 1 over 4 squared. I'm going to flip that fraction, 1 over 4 squared. And if I flip it to the top, I'm going to say that it's going to be 4 to the negative 2. If I flip it to the top, I'm going to change the sign of my exponent. So 1 over 4 squared becomes 4 to the negative 2. Works the next one. First, you need to figure out, okay, what's the exponent here? Well, what times itself is 36? Or how do I get to 36? I can break it out. That's 1 over 6 squared. Okay. Which, if I want to make it into an exponent with no fraction, I'm going to do 6 to the negative 2. I flip that fraction over like I did in the previous one. Put the exponent and the base on top, and I change the sign to a negative. And we're done. Keeping going. 1 over c to the fifth becomes c to the negative fifth. Flip the fraction to the top, or flip the denominator to the top, change your sign. We'll do a little note here. Negative on top, move down. Okay. Negative on bottom, move up. Okay, so let's look at this one. W to the negative first over W to the negative fifth. All I want to do is I want to change where they are to make them positive. I want to write them in positive exponents. So I'm going to flip the W to the bottom, the W to the negative 1, and I'm going to put the W to the negative fifth on top. So what I end up with is W to the fifth over W to the first. And using our quotient rule, what we know of that is that we can subtract those exponents. And we're going to get W to the fourth. Okay, that makes both those positive. You can do it a simpler way. You could say if there is a negative on top, like I said here, you move it down. If there's a negative on bottom, you move it up. We had both of them here. If there was only one, you would just move one spot. Or we could do W to the negative first minus negative 5. And what we know about negative numbers is we say negative first. A negative and a negative is a positive. Negative 1 plus 5 is W to the fourth. And you're done. A couple different ways you can do that one. Let's keep going here. You got a couple more examples. 3 to the negative 8 times 3 squared. Remember, when we do this, we need to add our exponents. Let's add those together. 3 to the negative 8 plus 2, which equals 3 to the negative 6. But if we want to make it positive, we got to flip that over, and we're going to make it 1 over 3 to the 6th power. We want to keep our exponents in a positive. 1 over 3 to the 6th power. And let's keep going. 8 to the 0. If you remember from our rules, 8 to the 0, that just equals 1. So this equals 1 over 8. And that's it.